Advaita Pancharatnam of Sri Adi Shankara Bhagavad Acharya, explained by Sri D.B. Ganguly. So, already we have seen 11 sessions, now it is 12th session. So, what we have seen here, that is a third shloka, explanation of the third shloka here in the 5 shlokas of, among the 5 shlokas. Here, although the one who doesn't know about or who has not seen ever the snake or doesn't know the name also the snake, the fact that a thing which is not of the form of the rope is misconceived in the rope is common to both. That is, one who is known and who is one who knows the snake already and the one who doesn't know, but the other person says that it is a snake. So this person thinks that it is a snake. After this incident, the second person, one who had never seen a snake before in his life, because of this samskara of a snake, may misconceive another rope to be a snake alone. Is it not? In that case, a real snake, which is the cause for Bhranti, will not be there at all. So, now the objection. This is not proper. For in the illustration between the two, one has the cognitive knowledge of a real snake. But in samsara, no one has the real samsara. In case in the beginning, if anyone had got samsara, then this illustration would have been acceptable to say that the others get it due to delusion. But it is not so. Apart from this, when the correct cognition of the rope ensues, it occurs in the manner, this is a rope alone. Needlessly, I got deluded to take it to be a snake. But in the illustrated, for such an experience to accrue, there is no scope whatsoever. For as in the illustration, just as the rope has been first seen, no one has first seen Atman. If anyone has, then there is no cause for delusion to occur at all. Or, in the alternative, if there is a cause for such an event, even then, if we cognize Atman by means of Vedanta Jnana, again this delusion may reappear or recur. Thus, to affirm that samsara is a delusion, the illustration of the rope snake does not seem to be in the least agreeable or suitable. So, this is the objection. What is the consolation for that? There is no need for the illustration to be identical in all respects or aspects with the illustrated. That is called Bhagatyaga Lakshana. Jahad Ajahadal Lakshana. Bhagatyaga Lakshana. That is, there is no need for the illustration to be identical in all respects or aspects with the illustrated. If both the illustration and the illustrated are identical in all aspects, then we cannot distinguish between the two and say distinctly in the manner this is the illustration and this is the illustrated. In the present case, from the illustration of the rope snake, what we have to discern is the fact that just as we misconceive a rope to be a snake, we have in truth misconceived Atman as Anatman or not self. Therefore, to the extent of demonstrating or elucidating the fact that there is no rule of law that only to a person who has first seen samsaritva should invariably get the delusion of samsaritva, the above mentioned illustration is relevant and proper. Next, Atman is Satchidananda Swarupa. Objection. Let it be, should we first cognize Atman or not? The one who has not cognized cognized the essential nature of the rope itself cannot possibly get the experience of the type I have misconstrued the rope itself as a snake. Is it not? If this is true, then to us who have not cognized Atman, a question like how at all did this Anatma Brahma or delusion of the not self occur can reasonably be asked. Is it not? Consolation. There are no persons who have not cognized Atman. Everyone whosoever he may be has cognized his Atman in the form of I. Objection. In that case, it amounts to saying that, in that case, now the objection, in that case, it amounts to saying that the fact of this I itself being Atman is known to everyone. then where is the necessity of Vedanta Shastra at all to help us cognize or know Atman? If it is the case that those who have cognized Atman also get deluded, then what utility or benefit is there at all from Atman Jnana, consolation? All of us have known Atman in the common form of I, but we have not cognized in the manner Satya Jnana Ananda Rupa Shiva, meaning the absolute reality of the very essence of truth, pure consciousness and pure bliss. Itself am I. When we misconceive a rope to be a snake because of the reason that what we have objectified or seen in the common genus form as this, we have not cognized in the distinct particular form of, as a rope. We get deluded in thinking it to be a snake or a chink in the ground, etc. Is it not? Similarly, that is here in this present context too, we have to discern accordingly. When it is said that our Atman is Satya, it purports to mean our essential nature which abides or subsists always, eternally as it is. When it is said that our Atman is Jnana Swarupa alone, it purports to mean one who is of the very essence of pure absolute consciousness intuition. When it is said that our Atman is Ananda Swarupa, it means one who is of essential nature of pure bliss or happiness. This subtle teaching we have to cognize intuitively. Evidently, this teaching is expounded by Vedanta Shastra. You understand? Now, what is this? Our Atman is Satya means it purports our essential nature which abides or subsists always eternally as it is. When it is said that it is Jnana Swarupa, it purports to mean one who is of very essence of pure absolute consciousness, intuition. And when it is Ananda Swarupa means it is essential nature of pure bliss or happiness. This subtle teaching we have to cognize intuitively. Evidently, this teaching is expounded by Vedanta Shastra. Objection. If Satya means that thing which exists as it is, then a stone, a tree, etc. are also existing as they are. Is it not? If they are Atman in those forms, then it amounts to saying that all of us are knowing already that we are all Satya Swarupa. Is it not? Consolation. Not so. Really, no object exists as it is. Even stones, rocks, etc. undergo great changes from time to time according to geologists. They get smashed up into smithereens and may finally become converted into sand. If rocks remained as they were, then how could such vast changes take place? Hence, it has to be said that they are undergoing mutations, stage by stage, spread over thousands of years. Even so, in our workaday world, to our common gross perception, certain things appear to exist as they are. For instance, though from clay many objects like pots, pitchers, drums, lids, and ladles, etc., are prepared, yet clay remains as clay alone. Therefore, in this manner, if we see from one particular viewpoint, we can say that even such things too are Satya or real. But when we say that Atman is Satya, we do not mean that he is real in this manner in our workaday world. He is absolutely, in the ultimate analysis, too real. Apart from this, there is no rule of law that those things which are empirically real should necessarily or invariably be endowed with jnana or consciousness or sentience. For instance, stones, sand, etc. Do not possess consciousness. Therefore, they are called jadavastu or gross, inanimate, insentient things. But our Atman is Jnana Swarupa or of the very essence of pure consciousness. We have the experience of consciousness in the manner I know or cognize this object. But Atman's Jnana is not of this type or form. The cognition or knowledge that we observe in this manner is in respect of a particular object, as also it comes into being and disappears too. Therefore, it is not as stated above, Paramartha Satya or absolutely or transcendentally real. Atman is Satya as well as Jnana. Therefore, Atma's Jnana which is nothing but his essence of being, is not like the empirical knowledge or cognition. Consciousness or knowledge which comes into being for some time and then disappears. He exists in the essential nature of Kutastha Jnana, or immutable absolute consciousness, devoid of any change or mutation whatsoever. Another point, if we have to gain any external knowledge, we have to strain our intellect, and after ratiocinating with a one pointed intellect, only we have to get this knowledge. But in the essential nature of pure being consciousness of Atman, there does not exist any strain or stress, nor is there any grief or sorrow. He is of the very essence of Ananda, or absolute happiness or bliss. For this reason, too, this knowledge that we gain is not Atman. When we enjoy external objects, we get a kind of pleasure or happiness, is it not? But when it is said that Atman is Ananda, it does not have any meaning of this type. The happiness or pleasure born out of the enjoyment of external objects is of a transient nature, as it is born and later on disappears. Besides, it is dependent upon something extraneous, to wit, it is thereby a resultant caused thing. But Atman is perennially of unitary, independent, self effulgent essence of bliss alone. Thus, when we observe certain objects in the external workaday world from our sthula drishti, or gross empirical viewpoint, it appears as though these terms like Satya, Jnana, and Ananda are appropriate for them. But if we examine with intuitive insight no object or phenomenon which is not Atman, whatsoever it may be, and howsoever subtle it may be, in the absolute sense, is none of these Satya, Jnana, or Ananda at all. Only if this really real or transcendental essence of being, consciousness, bliss of Atman is intuited, the Jiva Jagadrupa, or I world dichotomy misconceived in him gets sublated or falsified. So now let us examine the third and the fourth objections together. It is quite possible for imagining, misconceiving in a rope which is a separate object other than oneself, a snake, which is also an object. But is it possible to get deluded to consider or misconceive oneself alone to be of another form? How can we believe the veracity of the statement that all people have universally misconceived in the non-dual Shiva Swarupa, many jivas as well as the manifold gross objects? How can we believe also that apart from Atman, in front of him, a world which is of the form of Anatman is misconceived? None of these teachings suits the illustration of the rope snake, is it not? This, in a nutshell, is the purport behind those two objections. Further, in the objection raised by its proponent, the opinion to the effect that if Atman is Satya, Jnana, Ananda Swarupa, how come in him the world replete with asatya or unreality or false appearance, jada or gross, dukkha or sorrow or misery is misconceived, is also included. So, the next topic tomorrow we will see, just as a dream appears because of the delusion of sleep, the world is appearing. This is how we will see in the next session. Hare Rama. So, this is the Advaita Pancharatnam 12th session.